Hi everyone, this is Melissa Sharp, and today I'm going to share a few thoughts on what I learned from completing the Diagnostic Project. To provide a little bit of background, the company that I chose for my project is a small family owned business here locally in Fort Myers. Southwest Direct is a direct mail marketing company that focuses on creating, printing, and mailing direct mail materials. Their business has steadily grown over the years, and they now have customers all over the United States. Researching a company that I do not currently work for allowed me to compare different organizations and how they address organizational change. I'll now discuss what I learned about organizational change from the Diagnostic Project. I've composed my findings into two categories. First, the organization, and second, the people that work there. I will first discuss my findings that surround the organization as a whole. In working through this project, I came to realize that even though it might not be outwardly apparent, all organizations are experiencing some level of change at any given time. Every organization is unique, so change is dependent upon factors such as company size, culture, and their employees. While it would be tempting, an organization cannot compare their level of change to another organization's level of change, primarily due to the factors previously mentioned. While change is inevitable, it is not always well received. Some organizations embrace change, while others attempt to steer clear. Unfortunately, change cannot always be predicted or controlled. This is particularly true when discussing the topics of competition and changes in technology. Increased competition is a threat to most companies and is something that businesses should be equipped to deal with at any given time. Advances in technology are also inevitable, and they will also have an impact on most companies, if not all. Organizations should be prepared to deal with these before they even happen. The topic of increased competition and technology advances are almost always out of an organization's control. But in order for a company to remain competitive, they must address these changes head on. Next, I will discuss the employees within an organization and their impact on organizational change. I found that different employees discuss different issues regarding organizational change. So, a particular area of concern for one employee might be a completely different concern for another. This was largely due to individual experiences and differences in perception. Another factor that I found to cause some differentiation between organizational issues was the employee's role within the company. Employees in different positions had very different views on topics regarding organizational change, with management and non-management employing having the largest gap in their perceptions. It's important to look for themes and outliers when speaking with employees about a company's organizational change due to these differences in opinions. While organizational change is constant, employees will not always embrace it. But as previously mentioned, change is often outside of an organization's control. I found that when employees understood the reason behind the change, they were generally more accepting. So, in order for an employee to be successful in their role, they will ultimately need to accept organizational change. In conclusion, change within an organization is inevitable. A company might consciously implement organizational change, but sometimes it is not within their control. In either case, the organization and their employees will need to address these changes. Ensuring that employees have all of the details necessary for them to fully understand the reason behind organizational change is also helpful when it comes to employee cooperation. All of these factors will allow the organization to adjust or implement their processes accordingly. The most important takeaway that I learned from this project is that organizational change is not a one-size-fits-all concept. Each organization is unique and will experience their own challenges and successes. It is impossible to compare one company's organizational changes to another company's organizational changes, as each business has unique characteristics that need to be taken into consideration. As a result, the OD practitioner should never make assumptions, and recommendations should also never be considered one size fits all. Instead, The OD practitioner should address an organization's challenges on a case by case basis and provide recommendations accordingly. By implementing tailored recommendations to organizational changes, the organization will be able to remain competitive within their respective industry.